and English workshop of the poem Autumn. We begin with the warming up exercises. What changes do you see in nature in each of the following seasons? A few sentences are given as examples in your textbook. Use them and then your own sentences to describe a season. So the three seasons are summer, winter and monsoon. Here, these are the sentences taken from your textbook. We see the mist in the morning. There are sudden showers and hailstorms during the monsoon season. Okay, and I have added my own, and similarly you have to add your own for each of these three seasons. Now, you know what the summer season entails. Like many fruits are seen, we feel hot, migratory birds return. You know what happens in winter? It's cold, the days are short, people wear sweaters, we want to eat cold, things that keep us warm. And monsoons, there are sudden showers, new grass sprouts, tender leaves shoot out, and clouds of varying colors are seen. Yeah. Name the 6 seasons according to the Indian calendar. And which of these seasons in the Indian calendar with Indian names is equivalent to autumn or equal to the season called autumn? Now, these are the 6 Indian seasons according to the Hindu calendar, and the one that is equivalent to autumn or equal to autumn is Sharad. What changes do we see in the life of human beings when the season changes? Now, with each season we get changes. So only write with reference to how clothes change, the diet or the food we eat change, and the celebrations change. Now, we have the 3 seasons here, the summer or the hot season, winter or the cold season, and monsoon or the rainy season. So the clothes, we wear cotton clothes to soak up the sweat and keep cool. Here we wear warm woolen sweaters to keep us warm. Garments like raincoats to keep us dry. Umbrellas are used during the monsoons. The food that we eat during summer is the food that we need to keep ourselves cool, like a lot of liquids and ice cream. In winter, we need to eat healthy food, and take care not to overeat. So soups are good for winter. And in the monsoon also, you have to be careful not to eat from outside and eat more home cooked food. Now, what are the celebrations or the festivals that we have during summer? Baisakhi, Ramnavami, Holi, and there are many more you can write according to what you know. In winter, we have Christmas, Lohri, Pongal, Diwali. And the monsoon is the Ganesh Utsav, Raksha Bandhan and Onam. There are many more. I have put a few in for you just for your knowledge. Guess what is personified and fill in the gaps. You have to choose from the brackets. These words are given to you in brackets, and see now what is the meaning of that. Guess what is personified. Okay, so we have the weary dash was also petrol hungry. The weary means tired. Okay, the tired car was also petrol hungry. Okay, or the weary car. Yeah. The playful dash whistled among the trees. The wind. So see, they're giving you all human qualities to a car, to wind. Okay. Then the annoying alarm screamed at 5 a.m. The naughty stars winked at me from above. All these are the car, wind, alarm, stars are all non-living things that are given human qualities. Okay. The rising sun stretched its arms. The cheerful bird sang as it perched on a tree. And the tireless machine hummed as it worked hard. Now come to the English workshop. Find 3 lines each that contain images of nature in the autumn season. 3 lines from the poem. First, during daytime. During daytime you have the first paragraph or the first stanza with nodding rice stems in her hair. In flowers of grasses she is clad, and birds greet her with their cooing glad. This happens during the daytime. Okay. And during the night time, a diadem or a crown adorns the night. Her silken robe is white moonlight and multitudinous stars. Next question. Pick out words from the poem that describe the following. List them in column A. Substitute each one of those describing words with another word or phrase of the same meaning. Now, in your textbook, you have been given these words: the autumn, stars, moonlight, and the cooing of birds. Now, what is the meaning of these words? You have to pick out similar words from your poem. Now, the autumn is a maiden fair in your poem. Stars, the word used is diadem. Moonlight, a silver robe. And the cooing of birds, the tinkling of bracelets. Okay, these words are there used from the poem. Now you use your own words. I have used these words, you can use your own words. A maiden fair meaning a young, slender or slim girl. Diadem meaning a crown or a diamond crown. Silver robe is a silver garment, something that is worn. And tinkling of bracelets means the sound of ornaments. Find one example of each of the following from the poem. Simile. So the example is: birds greet her with their cooing glad, like a bracelet's tinkling sound. So the cooing of the birds is compared to the sound of the bracelet, the tinkling sound of the bracelet. Hence, it is called a simile. A metaphor: the autumn comes, a maiden fair. So we are not saying the autumn comes like a fair maiden. We are just saying, directly comparing autumn to a maiden, and that figure of speech is called a metaphor. The next question, write the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now, I have taken the first stanza, and if you look at the last words in each line: fair, grace, hair, face. So you find that fair and hair, they rhyme with each other. So I have named it as A and A. Whereas grace and face, they are rhyming words. So they are B and B. Now as we go along, we get clad and glad, which don't rhyme with these words like fair and grace. So it is C and C. And then we have along and song, which are rhyming words, which come as D and D. So you have, for rhyme scheme, you have to look at the last word of each line. And if they are rhyming, then you label it as with a similar alphabet. Okay. So looking at this, we get the rhyme scheme of the poem as AB, AB, CD, CD. Now write in your own words, why is the maiden autumn said to wear rice stems in her hair? Now, with the onset means the coming of the season autumn. Rice plantations flourish. There is a lot of rice growing. Their fresh stems nodding in the breeze are good to look at. And so the poet likens the season autumn to a young maiden and says that she wears the rice stems in her hair. Next question. How can the tender maiden autumn become a full-grown woman? What change in nature does this imply? What does it mean? Imply meaning, what does it mean that autumn becomes a full-grown woman? Okay. Now, with the advent or the coming of autumn, many changes take place in nature. Plants shed or they drop their leaves at the beginning of the season. Everywhere you will find yellow leaves. During the end of this season, the leaves come back, fruits are seen on trees, farmers harvest their crop, birds nest, lay eggs and look after their young, and nature becomes bountiful and mature. There is lots in nature, and this is compared to the maiden or the young girl turning into a fully grown, mature, beautiful woman. These are rice stems which you see during autumn. Why do you think birds greet the season gladly? Birds greet autumn gladly as is the season for them to nest, lay eggs and then nurture or look after their young ones. The birds laying their eggs in a nest. Now compare the Indian monsoon season to a powerful king of a prosperous kingdom. So here in the poem Autumn, a young maiden is compared to autumn. You now have to imagine that the Indian monsoon season is a powerful king of a very rich and prosperous kingdom. Write down a few similarities between the monsoon season and the king, and then use them to compose a poem like Autumn of your own. Okay, now this you attempt on your own using your creativity, imagination and writing skills. There is one more question in your book. Read the Ode to Autumn by the famous poet John Keats. So I have taken it out for you. Read it since it's given in your textbook. This is John Keats, okay, and a little bit about him. He was from England. He was one of the main poets of the second generation of romantic poets. He wrote, poems on love. And he was publishing only for 4 years before his death. He died from TB, tuberculosis, a very dangerous disease at that time, and he was only 25. But still, he is a very, very famous poet. And here it says, autumn, the year's last loveliest smile. And look how beautiful everything is. Everything is in different colors of orange. That symbolizes the season of autumn.